Riverview community, we have 103 residents for our census today. 4 Medicare residents, 20 private pay residents, 8, an additional 8 have made Medicaid application, and that's pending, and 71 Medicaid residents.
I got a question. How are you able to have 103 beds filled? Is it the case that you fill them on Tuesdays and report to us on Wednesday that they're filled? Because people are leaving one way or the other, and there's a time lag between a new patient, a new resident coming in.
We haven't lost a resident since before our move.
Okay.
And basically, we're unable to do that for several reasons. If we empty a bed, the issue is that the staff, everyone needs time to regroup, and
Yeah.
there's usually a day or two lag time to
Okay.
get our paperwork in
Yeah.
order as well.
I think it's great that you get 103 beds filled. Don't get me wrong.
Just a question, the 8 have made Medicaid applications. Is that 8 out of the 20? Is that what you said?
No, there's an additional 8 residents.
So it will not affect the 20 necessarily?
No, there's no. Not at this time. There may be more, but no, right now it's 20 private pay residents.
I have a question. Did
Sure.
the private pay get down?
There has, obviously people do spend down. After a while, your money runs out. And where there hasn't been any admissions, therefore I can't, there aren't any more private pay residents coming in or what have you. So, there's a balance there with the 103 residents that we have.
Are you going to be considering, after the first of the year, raising the room rate?
Yes, I am.
You will be? Okay.
I will bring it forward to the commission for input,
Okay.
yes. As far as this past week or so, it's been, again, the issues of transition, working on that as well as system review. We've looked at the mechanical side of things as far as working out processes and as well as staffing. Cheryl, Bob, and I met with all of the staff last week, or at least as many as who attended our meetings, as well as starting to meet with each and every household as far as residents are concerned to see, what they feel, how things are going. We received a lot of very, very good input. One issue, we obviously had to augment our nursing staff. We've lost some staff, as well as we had positions that had not been posted or filled. This is all within our budget. This is nothing new as far as I'm not asking for new monies. I'm just telling you that we are staffing for some additional positions that had been left open. Last week I met with Commissioner Solomon, who's my liaison to the nursing home, and I talked a lot about what was happening with the survey, et cetera, because we didn't meet last week, and our survey went well. We received feedback. There was nothing new to report there. But basically, I asked for our incentive program to be initiated as I'm trying to bring in new people, because it takes a while. You have to post for the position. You have to go through the hiring process and then orientation. What that means is that we'll be posting the list of open positions that we have for a month's period of time, and LNAs can sign up for that position with an incentive of $5 more an hour. That certainly is far less than what I would ever pay for the issues of agency staff,
Right.
and it has worked well in the past. And again, it's for a set period of time. When I spoke to Commissioner Solomon, I spoke for a period to the end of the month. I may have been a little bit short on that. I am going on vacation the end of the month, and I would like to make sure that, obviously we wouldn't use it unless we had to, if there was an opening, but I would like to extend it to the middle of November 15th. So that's...
I know the delegation is concerned about overtime, but it's a lot cheaper to do it that way than to have to hire somebody in from the pool in Concord. I don't know what it is for LNAs, but I know it was $75 an hour.
I also believe that I'm posting positions that hadn't been posted before, and I believe that it was Representative Morrow that I don't want to, that I don't want to misspeak, but there was some discussion that perhaps what we should be doing is of looking at our positions and therefore not utilizing the overtime because you don't have to. You're actually staffing for that. So I think that this will also offset some of the overtime that is used throughout the year. So,
Okay. Okay.
And let's make it clear that these people are within the numbers that we said we were going to have.
That's right. It's not this isn't addition to our budget,
Right,
not
okay.
increasing our budget. And I met at length with Paula. We went over numbers, et cetera, and our budget, and that's within our budget. Also, the redistricting meeting, apparently the House Redistricting Committee will be holding 10 meetings throughout the state from October 13th to October 27th to look for public input about redistricting for congressional, executive committee, county, state, Senate, and House seats. The hearing in Carroll County will be held tomorrow evening from 7 to 9, and it will be it's 2011, October 13th, 2011, at the home, at the community, in the great room. So just so that everyone is aware that that meeting will be held tomorrow in our new home.
Okay.
Okay.
Everything else is going okay.
You know, the transition is it's moving into a new home.
Yeah.
We all have to look at our whole process. The issues of become acclimated, the issues of we've spent some real long time. I've spent times meeting with family members, staff, residents, and obviously concerns have come up, and we have addressed them as they're being addressed. And today is the 12th, and we'll be in our home 1 month tomorrow. So. I think for the time element, I think we've done well.
Regarding the facility, has there been any deficiencies that you've found that have not been taken care of?
Dave, we found a few deficiencies here and there, but Bonner Page and Stone has been helpful, and they've been doing the best that they can to accommodate us. There's still a few unanswered things like HVAC training for myself, but that's really the biggest item. Everything
Is working.
Everything else
fine.
is more or less, yeah.
But they've been-
I'm not,
everything's in good
excuse
shape.
me, I'm not sure that they're deficiencies. I think that they're items that need to be retweaked. I
Yeah,
think the
that's
issue
probably
is
a better way
that,
to put it.
I
Mhm.
think.
You've got a new house. There's always going to be little details here and there that need help. Need a little further attention, if you want to call it that. That's about it.
Has your people been trained
In what?
in any of the mechanicals that are there?
No, that's my biggest issue right now.
That's the problem, right? That would be-
Yeah.
Okay.
But we had a few problems with the heating system for the first couple of weeks, but that system has been addressed. Those
Okay.
problems have been taken care of. I'm just still waiting my formal training for the HVA system. I mean, this is my trade by nature. I've got a good handle on it,
Yeah.
but officially getting my training from the installer, I haven't had that yet.
Okay.
Has the painting all been finished?
No.
No, they're still there,
It's still there.
And we'll
Yeah.
be working on the punch list, I think, Bob, for quite a while.
quite some time, yes.
And I think that this is certainly talking to other companies and in areas that have had a new building. That's, this is the nature of what happens. But they're working daily, at least Monday through Saturday. And
Any idea when the company's gonna be changed?
do not. And
No, that's on
actually,
my list.
hopefully we'll ask some questions today of Chris and others, but we're hoping that, it won't be for another month or so. Again, we're still working to try to get everything back to a normal situation, so.
Okay.
Things are coming into place, the dust is settling.
There's no dust.
What about the replacements for the replacements? You
You mean
having
the carpet?
people,
Oh,
Go ahead.
excuse me.
you're having people, you're offering, I don't know what position it's for, but you're offering $5 more an hour for people who, how are you going to fill their position if they move to another position?
No, we already have
No.
people in the pipeline to be hired or have been hired. And then there's some positions that we're hiring. The issue is they're picking up a shift, an additional shift. And we'll be bringing these staff members let's say, I already know that 2 staff members had been hired. But just because you've been hired doesn't mean you can just go out to the floor, to the unit and provide care. You have to be oriented. So again, in the past, and this will be no different than what we're doing now, the issue is that I have a position, let's say on a 7 to 3, I need an additional person. It's more often the 3 to 11 shift, but I have a position open. An LNA may work 32 hours and say, I'll pick up an additional shift. And so she'll pick up that additional shift as the new person coming on board begins to be oriented, so he or she is ready to perform that job. So it's a little complex, but the issue is that it makes staff feel so much better than for me to go to an agency. And first of all, it's better for the county, it's better for the facility because they know the resident, they know the area, and they're able to do the work more efficiently. And also, they're getting a little extra, and we're not paying the prices of the agency staff coming in.
So instead of overtime, it's $5 more?
No, they'll still receive overtime if it is overtime for them. Or for some, it may not be overtime, it may be the additional $5 an hour because they haven't met that requirement. But there is an incentive to sign up.
Some may be working 32 hours a week.
Yeah.
They put in the extra.
The ones that aren't getting overtime are getting additional $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much.
Ann?
You don't invite me, so I invited myself.
Okay. We're open to having people come.
I'll start off on a good note. When I did my three-quarter comparison on income,
Yep.
we are actually a little bit ahead of last year. So
Okay.
when I was telling you casually that
Yep.
things were not good, we at least are meeting last year's figures, which to me is really good.
Does it normally get better towards the end of the year?
There's no
No.
rhyme, no reason to
No,
anything we
nothing.
do.
Okay.
We're at the mercy of what they bring into us.
Is the slightly more that you speak of, was that anticipated at
We
all?
can never anticipate. What
So,
we've
I mean-
had is some large sales on the lake, which give you 4% of the real estate transfer tax, which has helped to beef the other end of the economy of lack of sales,
Good.
as you can tell by the for sale signs. What I really came here for was, I attended last week's meeting that you had with the delegation. And I have to say, I wasn't really, I came away feeling very poor about the attitude of the delegation towards the commissioners and towards all of us that try to do a good job for the county.
Right.
They seem to be like this on one issue, and the next one they're like this. It made no sense to me how they were. I couldn't get a consensus. Okay, so I'm here to ask you, when somebody says they don't want to see anything more than a 1% increase, are we talking about 1% in each department, or are we talking 1% in the whole? Because every year I've done exactly what you've asked,
Yep.
and every year I get cut. I don't get my 1%, somebody else gets it.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, the process of our budgeting goes on for 6 months. My planning starts looking at what we've spent, our expenditures. I look at it every month to see where we are in our percentages and try to be very diligent and responsible to keep in a balance of running a good department and being responsible to our citizens who pay the tax bill.
Okay.
But every year I get my, it's like 6 months of walking on eggs, and you feel it as much
We
as
had
I
the
do,
same.
and more.
Bigger, yeah.
Much bigger. So I guess I'm looking to you before I even start putting all my efforts into this, because last year I brought you 2 budgets, if you remember, and one was what I really wanted. The second one was to make sure I was within the 1%. When you had the figures given to you for the cost of living increase, being 3.86, and then they're telling you it's 1%. Now, is that 3.86